the State of Rhode and Providence Plantation's 108th inauguration. Today we honor and inaugurate Governor-elect Gina M. Raimondo and Rhode Island's General Officers. Lieutenant Governor-elect Daniel J. McKee, Secretary of State-elect Nellie M. Gorbea, Attorney General Peter F. Gilmartin, and General Treasurer-elect Seth Magaziner. Please rise for the entrance of the official party and remain standing for the official procession led by High Sheriff David M. DeCesare. performed by the Rhode Island State Police Honor Guard.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem will be sung by the Executive Director for Rhode Island Commission of Human Rights, Mr. Michael Avora. It is customary for military and law enforcement personnel in uniform to render a hand salute during the playing of the national anthem. It is also permissible in accordance with recently enacted federal law for veterans to render a hand salute. Gentlemen are expected to remove their headgear, and civilians should place their hand over their heart during the singing of the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Mr. Avora. At this time, the 2014 Cumberland American Little League New England Regional Championship team will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Please face the flag located to my left, and it is customary for uniformed members of the military and police to render the hand salute. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. I now call upon the Honorable A. Ralph Mollis, Secretary of State, to call to order the convocation for the inauguration of the Governor and General Officers of the State of Rhode Island.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the 108th inauguration ceremonies of the State of Rhode Island and Providence Plantations. A convocation means very simply a calling together for a special purpose. It reinforces that we and those we honor today are not alone, but are part of a community working together. It is now my honor to officially call to order the convocation for the inauguration and engagement of our 59th Governor and General Officers of the State of Rhode Island and Providence Plantations.
Thank you, Secretary. I now call upon Reverend Edward L. Peroni from St. Raymond's Catholic Church, Imam Farid Ansari from the Muslim American Dawah Center of Rhode Island, and the Venerable Satri Ying, head monk from the New England Buddhist Temple, to deliver the invocation.
O eternal and almighty, source of all that is good and true, foundation of our life and love as a people, we, those of strong faith or little faith, or perhaps even of no faith, join our good thoughts and wishes and ask for guidance and strength from you and from each other. We seek compassion and understanding.
Grant us wisdom that we may find the courage to celebrate our diversity and not to dwell on our differences. Turn rancor into reconciliation. In our problems and quandaries, may we only find the potential for the greater good for which we are called.
May we build the better life for all us. We inspire each other to be a people and more devoted citizens under your watchful care. May we be blessed and unified as we progress in the Salem in weather.
At this time, Rhode Island's Poet Laureate, Rick Benjamin, will read a poem he has composed for this inauguration.
There's actually some warm weather in this poem. On the occasion of the inauguration of Gina Raimondo as Governor of Rhode Island, 6th of January, 2015. The poem is called "On Which Our Small State Does Not Appear." That first year, we rented an apartment in Fox Point, and our sons turned 2. A month later, the day their sister turned 1, I watched her bounce on an inflatable globe of our world, on which, upon further examination, our small state did not appear. It was July, so humid that birthday morning sweat already dripped into my eyes only minutes after a shower. And I remember thinking of small, unseen states of grace. 2-year-old twin sons, a daughter turning 1, her body wrapped around her buoyant world, making iced coffee for their mother, showering upstairs, herself about to step into the soft, wet air we call Rhode Island summer. Thinking how lucky we were to be in this small state, and apparently even to some map makers, unremarked upon state. Even now, they say, about the size of Rhode Island, meaning a county or city elsewhere in the country the size of a whole state, or a place so small it can almost, by some people at least, among them map and globe makers be missed. Feeling even then so alive and lucky to be in this state of firsts, most tolerant of original colonies, First Baptist Church, 1638, First Synagogue built in America, 1763, first jail sentence for speeding in an automobile, 1904, 15 miles an hour in Newport, by the way. First, some might say, most sustained circus, 1774. 2015, our first woman governor. The big top of our state's house is home to the statue called Hope, also known as the Independent Man, model for such an idea being near at hand. The man Jefferson and Adams said informed the First Amendment. Roger Williams standing tall for free speech and religion long before others did. Thinking again of the globe on which this more enlightened state appears. State housing now an independent woman. How long some things take, some states of grace. A woman leading the way for once. How, as our new governor says, what isn't already here, we will have to map and make ourselves. This place we most want to live and love in, making new room and space, even among founding fathers, for a state just small enough for big changes to begin.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is both an honor and a privilege to announce the engagement of Gina M. Raimondo as the 75th governor of the state of Rhode Island and Providence Plantations. Joining Governor-elect Raimondo on the dais will be her husband, Andy Moffett, children Cece and Tommy, and her mother, Josephine Raimondo. Holding the family Bible is her husband, Andy Moffett. I now call upon the Honorable A. Ralph Mollis, Secretary of State, to administer the oath of office.
Your left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand. You being, by the free vote of the electors of this state of Rhode Island and Providence Plantations, elected onto the place of governor, do solemnly swear to be true and faithful unto the state, and to support the Constitution of this state and of the United States, that you will faithfully and impartially discharge all the duties of your aforesaid office to the best of your abilities, according to law, so help you God.
I do.
Congratulations. It is an honor to announce the engagement of Daniel J. McKee as Lieutenant Governor of the state of Rhode Island. Joining Lieutenant Governor-elect McKee on the dais is his wife, Susan McKee, children Matthew and Kara. Holding the family Bible is his
wife Susan. I now call upon the Honorable A. Ralph Mollis, Secretary of State, to administer the oath of office.
Place your left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand. You being, by the free vote of the electors of this state of Rhode Island and Providence Plantations, elected unto the place of Lieutenant Governor, do solemnly swear to be true and faithful unto this state and to support the Constitution of this state and of the United States, that you will faithfully and impartially discharge all the duties of your aforesaid office to the best of your abilities, according to law, so help you God.
I do.
Congratulations.
Now you can put the pin on. It is now an honor to announce the engagement of Nellie M. Gorbea as Secretary of State. Joining Secretary of State-elect Gorbea on the dais is her husband, David Dort, daughters Isabel Mercedes, Cecilia Margarita, and Monica Maria, and her parents, Roberto and Nellie Gorbea. Holding the family Bible are daughters Isabel and Cecilia. I call upon the Honorable Gina M. Raimondo, Governor, to administer the oath.
Please raise your right hand and put your left hand on the Bible. You being by the free vote of the electors of this state of Rhode Island and Providence Plantations, elected unto the place of Secretary of State, do solemnly swear to be true and faithful unto this state and to support the Constitution of this state and of the United States, that you will faithfully and impartially discharge all the duties of your aforesaid office to the best of your abilities according to law, so help you God.
I do.
Congratulations.
At this time, it is an honor to announce the engagement of Peter F. Kilmartin, continuing as the Attorney General for the state of Rhode Island. Joining Attorney General Kilmartin on the dais is his wife, Christine Kilmartin. His wife will be holding the Bible. I call upon the Honorable Paul A. Sattel, Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of Rhode Island, to administer the oath of office.
Please raise your right hand, place your left hand on the Bible. You, Peter F. Kilmartin, being by the free vote of the electors of this state of Rhode Island and Providence Plantations, elected unto the place of Attorney General, do solemnly swear to be true and faithful unto this state, and to support the Constitution of this state and of the United States, that you will faithfully and impartially discharge all the duties of your aforesaid office to the best of your abilities, according to law, so help you God.
I do.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Your Honor. It is an honor to announce the engagement of Seth Magaziner as General Treasurer of the state of Rhode Island. Joining General Treasurer-elect Magaziner on the dais are his mother, Suzanne Magaziner, father, Ira Magaziner, sister, Sarah Magaziner, and his girlfriend, Julia McDowell. Holding the William Ellery family Bible is his mother, Suzanne Magaziner. I call upon the Honorable Gina M. Raimondo, Governor, to administer the oath of office.
You being by the free vote of the electors of this state of Rhode Island and Providence Plantations, elected unto the place of General Treasurer, do solemnly swear to be true and faithful unto this state and to support the Constitution of this state and of the United States, that you will faithfully and impartially discharge all the duties of your aforesaid office to the best of your abilities according to law, so help you God.
I do.
Congratulations.
I now call upon the Honorable Mr. Richard H. Pierce, Chairman of the Board of Elections, to present the certificate of election to Governor Raimondo.
Governor Raimondo, on behalf of the Board of Elections and the citizens of the state of Rhode Island, I'm honored to present you with your certificate of election. We wish you well in your service to the state, that you bring honor to yourself and to the state, and provide for the health and welfare of all of its citizens. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pierce. High Sheriff David DeCesare will now read the proclamation of election.
Now hear ye, the Honorable Gina M. Raimondo, having been duly elected to the place of governor by the free inhabitants of this state and these plantations, was duly sworn to the faithful performance of her office at 12:30 p.m. on the 6th day of January in the year of our Lord 2015, and of our independence, the 238th year. God save Her Excellency the Governor in the state of Rhode Island and Providence Plantations.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time it is my honor to introduce Major General Kevin R. McBride, the Adjutant General of Rhode Island and Commanding General of the Rhode Island National Guard. General McBride will make the presentation of the gorget to Governor Raimondo. The gorget originated in the 14th century as a piece of armor worn around the neck to protect the throat area. In the 17th century, it became a small ornamental plate hung around the neck of leaders. In Rhode Island, it signifies the governor as the Captain General and Commander-in-Chief of the Rhode Island National Guard and militia units. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the presentation and remain standing for the playing of Ruffles and Flourishes and Stars and Stripes Forever by the Governor's own 88th Army Band of the Rhode Island National Guard, followed by a 19th gun salute from units of the Rhode Island Militia. It is customary for military and law enforcement personnel in uniform to render a hand salute during Ruffles and Flourishes in the 19th gun salute.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct honor and pleasure to introduce to you the Governor of the State of Rhode Island and Providence Plantations and Captain General and Commander-in-Chief of the Rhode Island National Guard and Militia, the Honorable Gina M. Raimondo. Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please be seated. My fellow Rhode Islanders, it is a great honor to address you today. I'm humbled by the challenges before us, mindful of the many Rhode Islanders struggling with some of the toughest economic conditions we've ever faced, and deeply grateful for the trust that you've put in me. Let me begin by expressing our shared heartfelt appreciation to Governor Chafee for 25 years of dedicated public service to our state. Thank you, Governor Chafee. Let us also acknowledge the brave men and women serving in uniform, our troops, first responders, and correctional officers. Thank you for your service. And let me thank my wonderful family for supporting me at every single step along the way. I love you. The challenges that any governor inherits define the possibilities before them, and how we solve intractable problems is limited only by our creativity and our courage to tackle the most difficult challenges. Over the past 30 years, we've watched the foundation of our economy, our manufacturing base, erode. Our manufacturing sector used to provide good, stable, middle-class jobs, and as it's withered, nothing's taken its place. In just the last year, we've had the highest unemployment rate in the country for 9 straight months. We've been 49th among states where companies want to do business, and dead last for helping entrepreneurs. At the same time, our government has become larger but less effective. We face unsustainable budget deficits, and yet our roads, bridges, and school buildings are crumbling. As a result, workers are insecure, families are vulnerable, and too many cities are teetering on the brink of bankruptcy. And far too many young people are leaving our state to seek opportunity elsewhere. But just as troubling is a growing belief held by too many Rhode Islanders that our problems are just too big to solve, that there's nothing we can do, and that our leaders don't care, don't get it, or are rendered ineffective by a broken system which caters to the few, the connected. We've witnessed a growing acceptance that this is Rhode Island. It's just the way things are. So we've lowered our expectations, deferred our dreams, and let corruption take root. Today we begin to change that attitude. It's time to stop our decline and to ignite a Rhode Island comeback. It's not something that's going to happen on its own, or we can wait for somebody else to do. Every person within the sound of my voice and far beyond has a role to play in this comeback. Most important, we have to believe. We have to believe it's possible to have the comeback that our families deserve, and we have to commit ourselves to a new way of doing things. Now, at times, these changes are going to be uncomfortable. So often, we've resisted new ideas because people say, we've never done it that way before. But doing it the way we've always done it has landed us here. We need new politics and new ideas. Too many interest groups have crowded into this building for too long, putting their short-term self-interest before the long-term interest of all Rhode Islanders. Today, I ask Rhode Island to begin to think differently. I want you to ask yourself, each of you, what role can I play in the comeback of Rhode Island? How can we, as elected leaders, represent the concerns of all the diverse people of Rhode Island? How can business leaders develop new strategies to meet payroll and expand jobs right here in Rhode Island? How can our educators create cutting-edge laboratories of learning where we teach the next generation of innovators and leaders? Now, we're going to have to give up a little of our own narrow self-interest and give something back to our community. But that's how America works. And that's how we're going to get Rhode Island back to work. We need that eternal optimism shown by our founders, who believed in divine intervention, good fortune, and yes, providence. The idea that through God's grace, all things are possible, because they are. The truth is, our only path out of this mess is to create middle-class, family-supporting jobs. And so we have to foster an environment where businesses want to add jobs, and also where we support our workers. If we do that, if we rebuild this economy, everything is possible. And if we don't, nothing else is going to matter. Let's create a place where people know you can make it in Rhode Island. Whether it's the young man preparing to graduate from high school, or a new mom who sees nothing but promise for her children, or the little girl who knows she can be anything she wants to be if she works hard enough. I want Rhode Island to be a place of boundless opportunity for everyone. And heck, maybe that little girl will even become governor of Rhode Island. Middle-class jobs are how we keep young people in Rhode Island. It's how we move people off public assistance. It's how we rejuvenate neighborhoods and secure the resources to invest in education and infrastructure and save for a rainy day. But more important than all of that, a steady job is the lifeblood of a healthy and thriving family. I learned that growing up, watching my father, who worked for 3 decades at the Bulliver Watch Factory. As a kid, I saw there was a job for everybody in his carpool. But I also remember him struggling to start over again when the company moved all the jobs overseas. Too many Rhode Islanders today face that uncertainty. Every decision we make must pass the test of whether or not it will create opportunity for Rhode Island families. In everything we do, we have to ask ourselves, how will this create good middle-class jobs? And then have the courage to act accordingly. To spark Rhode Island's comeback, we've got to do 3 things. First, we have to build the skills our students and workers need to compete in the 21st century. Second, we have to attract entrepreneurs and investment in industries of our strength to stimulate our economy and create jobs. And third, we have to innovate in everything we do, including in our state government, to enhance accountability and deliver value to taxpayers. We all know the economy is changing rapidly. The question is, are we preparing Rhode Islanders to be winners in this new environment? Education is a ladder of opportunity, so we need to modernize our school buildings, support our dedicated teachers, and make college accessible for more families. We need to ensure effective training opportunities for workers of all ages that align with the jobs that are in demand. To create stable jobs, we also have to cultivate conditions that will make businesses want to be here and want to add jobs here. Before adding jobs, businesses want to know there'll be a steady supply of well-trained workers and a 21st century infrastructure. They look for clear and streamlined regulations and a predictable tax structure. And perhaps most important, a level playing field where everyone can get ahead based on what you know, not who you know. We need a growth strategy, a strategy focused on our strengths in the marine science, healthcare, tourism, and food industries, which we implement every single day. And we have to revive our manufacturing sector, because if we make things in Rhode Island, people can make it in Rhode Island. We also have to innovate in everything we do, including the way government works in Rhode Island. Let's operate a government that's customer-friendly and creatively finds ways to help families succeed. It's time to redesign government, modernize our hiring practices, and instill accountability for results. Let's improve Medicaid by tracking down on fraud, delivering better care, and improving efficiency. Let's provide more digital services to citizens and facilitate online permitting for businesses. And let's help our cities and towns share services to reduce operating costs. Instead of simply throwing money at problems, we have to be outcome-oriented and insist on citizens getting their money's worth for their tax dollars. And we have to do all of this with urgency because our budget deficit is severe this year, and there's even darker clouds on the horizon. We can't continue what we've been doing, just annually scraping together enough cuts and revenues to make it through the next year. Let's commit ourselves to eliminating our structural deficit over the next several years to put our state on a sound footing and to making the tough choices so that at the same time we'll be able to invest in job-creating opportunities. My fellow Rhode Islanders, today we face a choice. We can continue on our current path. We can avoid difficult decisions because we're afraid of special interests or political ramifications, or of simply changing the way we've always done it. And if we stay on that course, our kids are going to be left behind, more cities and towns will go bankrupt, and other states will continue to pass us by. But there's another choice. There's a better path. I want everyone to have opportunity to make it in Rhode Island. So today, I ask you to join me and let's reach for something better for Rhode Island. Now listen, the job's not going to be done in 2 or 5 or 10 years, and the problems we face weren't created overnight, and we're not going to solve them overnight. And at each step of our journey, this journey that we're on together, we're going to measure our work in lives changed, in opportunities created, and in families saved. This is my pledge to you. I'll wake up every single morning focused on expanding opportunity for families in Rhode Island. And no matter how long it takes or how many obstacles are thrown in our way, we're never going to give up. Now, I don't have all the answers. Just ask my kids, they'll tell you that. But I will go anywhere, and I'll work with anyone who wants to do what's right for Rhode Island. And I'm especially committed to collaborating with Speaker Mattiello and Senate President Paiva Weed, who I thank for their dedicated service and who I know share my focus on getting Rhode Islanders back to work. Listen, the challenges before us are real. I get that. I know that. But hear this, Rhode Island. Together, we will meet those challenges. As I prepared for today, I spoke to a friend of mine who's someone many of you know and many of you are praying for, Sister Ann Keefe. Sister Ann's work has been teaching nonviolence. And like most things in life, it's a work in progress. But she never loses faith, and neither can we. At a time when all you have to do is hear the word Ferguson, you realize the challenge of our time is to simply get along a little better and respect one another, to be a better example for our children, to teach them that solving a problem shouldn't mean caving in to the loudest voices. It often means listening to the quietest voices. I would ask that if you remember one thing from today, it's that we're all in this together. Governor Mario Cuomo, who sadly passed away last week, reminded us that we must be the family of America, recognizing that at the heart of the matter, we're bound to one another. Our collective future is tied to rebuilding Rhode Island's economy in a way that expands opportunity for all families without leaving anyone behind. I believe that's why we're all here today. We're tying our faiths together, and with God's grace and with God's guidance, we will find a way. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless Rhode Island.
Thank you, Governor Raimondo.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, the ICC Youth Praise Choir will sing America the Beautiful.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the benediction given by the Very Reverend Dr. Jeffrey A. Williams from the King's Cathedral, also the Reverend Joanna Orellana, President of the Social Transformation Alliance, and Rabbi Sarah E. Mack from the Temple Beth El and President of the Board of Rabbis of Greater Rhode Island.
Oh God, it is by your grace that we are here even this day. May your hand of wisdom, may your hand of compassion, may your hand of grace be upon our governor and our state from this moment forward.
Mighty God, teach us to give thanks for what we have by sharing it with those in need. Help us to hear the silent tears of those who suffer, and bless those who accompany the lonely and feed the hungry. May our streets, our schools, and our homes be safe from affliction and strife.
May citizens of all races and creeds forge a common bond and harmony to banish hatred and safeguard the ideals that are the pride and glory of our state. Help us to appreciate one another and respect the many ways that we may serve you. Grant our leaders wisdom and forbearance, that they may govern with justice and compassion. Teach them your ways, that they may administer affairs of state fairly, that peace and security, hope and prosperity may abide in our midst. May our state be an influence for good for all who dwell here, that the words of the prophet shall be fulfilled, and light shall shine in the darkness. Amen.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the recessional. This concludes today's ceremony. Governor Raimondo and the general officers would be honored to greet you in the stateroom of the State House immediately following this event. Please use the north entrance if you intend on entering the building. Governor Raimondo would also like you to join her tonight at 6 p.m. for a very special water fire, which was privately commissioned to celebrate the inauguration of Rhode Island's newest general officers. Thank you very much for attending, and drive safely.
Very good job.